Nietzsche talking about how religions are forms like slave morality in a way, which I can agree a little bit on to an extent, but there's too much nuance to say, oh, yes, it is or isn't. But it's
Yeah.
like he said, like Joseph Campbell was talking about Dharma or social law, and that most religions fulfill these social laws in society. And these social laws could be, anything on survival, pleasure, and power.
Mhm.
So the prayer system or the system of prayer would be based on my survival, which would be, a fertility, power, um, and all of these other things, which would be basically the animalistic instincts.
Mhm.
So, and in a sense, that would be the lower form of man or the more animal form of man. And you could say, well, that's enslavement to your animalistic instinct because you're basing your religious, spiritual prayer or your desire on these kind of base instincts in a way. And he was saying, oh, they're like the bottom chakras, they're like the one to the third chakra or something. And he was saying, this is what keeps us in a kind of enslaved animalistic instinct system because it's like what we've had religious wars and they were based on again animal instincts of like let's say the crusades of overpowering certain positions, dominating, having power,
Yeah.
all of these types of things, which were insane because I think I remember reading into at some point there was the crusades, the people that went to fight these religious wars, they would sign over their ownership of their property, I think, to the religious institutions. And when they died, the religious institutions took over the ownership of that property. So that, in a sense, they kind of grew their domination
Mm.
by doing that. And I can't remember the specifics of that, but there was like something I remember there. But and this is where kind of like Buddhist side of Eastern tradition is quite useful to get that perspective of kind of falling out of that. And in a sense, it kind of even links in with Nietzsche's slave morality in a different kind of way because we're being slaves to our instincts or we're being slaves to kind of domination in a sense or our drives.
Right. Help me understand that. I don't get that. So social law, the social law of religion helps us, keeps us pinned to our animal instincts.
Things that would be more conquering. So things that would go towards a kind of position where we're not in communion with other people or
Hmm.
we're in more of there's no compassion in a sense, there's no unity or harmony with others